Hi guys, it's me Arian doing another what if. Sorry for not uploading yesterday. So, what if Deku was Nightmare Sans? I will be doing what if Deku was Bendy part 2 today, but yeah, I had this idea. I really wanted to do it. So yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this what if. Diving straight into this, Izuku is born with the quirk that basically just give me a sec here. So Izuku's quirk basically he could store negative feelings within his body and then release them onto something, or then keep it inside himself to make himself stronger. And basically, what's a kid? So once he saw a kid tripping over and hurting his knee, and then he saw the kid was crying, and then he felt the negative emotions inside of him. Although he wasn't crying, he was like absorbing it, but not really. He was kind of absorbing the negative feelings. And then when it came for lunchtime, he was eating an apple when he touched the apple, and then the negative feelings started to go to the apple. Then the apple turned into an Uzi apple, basically. And Izuku wasn't looking while this happened, and then he took a bite out of the apple. And then he started having stomach pains, and then he started black ooze started coming out of his mouth, and black ooze tentacles started coming out of his eye, and he was screaming in pain. But everyone was just filled with fear of what was going on. And then the ooze started to cover Izuku's entire body. And now takes on a kind of oozy shape. Well, it's now kind of like an oozy body, just like Nightmare Sans, but instead of like the cyany blue kind of outline that Nightmare Sans has, he has like the green outlines. Well, like the sludge is still black, but he has like the green outlines. I also remember, like, he has the hair, but, like, he still has his hair. Basically every other body part that a normal human would have, except now his body's just oozy. And now, Zuko started, thoughts just went towards a more darker place, and now he's technically a well, not really, but he runs on negative emotions and rage. He can also He could also shapeshift the tentacles and stuff like that. He could also use his ooze as a way to travel himself or something else to another location. And of course, he has the standard Wait, just give me a sec. Let me check what his caster blaster looks like. So, I was looking at Nightmare Sans caster blasters. I saw multiple different kind of ones, and this is the one I like most, so I'm gonna go with this design. So yeah, you can summon caster blasters like this. I'm just gonna go back to the main picture now. Okay, so yeah, Nightmare Sans. I'll just call him Nightmare for now on. Whatever. I'll just call like Deku Nightmare. So I'll just call Izuku Nightmare from now on. Sorry about that. But anyway, sorry about the pausing. It's just I'm just moving location to location, hoping I won't get interrupted. Well, not like houses to houses. I just mean different rooms of my house. Okay, so Deku or Izuku now has this like oozy body with the oozy tentacles and stuff like that. And he has no idea what's going on. I'm not sure if Nightmare Sans is able to use bones, but I'll probably look that up for the part 2. Yeah. So Izuku started groaning in pain and lying on the floor as his body was being taken over by the ooze. And one kid told the teacher what was happening, and the teacher rushed over to see Izuku covered in completely black ooze, and basically, he's not like his body's. Well, also you can see he still has his normal teeth, like in the picture here. Is it? But anyways, I'm just giving you the important details so you know what he looks like. Okay, of course his hair is black with the green outlines, that stuff. And so is nearly all the other parts of his body. Except for his teeth. He's fine. The teacher calls his mom and tells him what's going on, and Inko just immediately rushes over to the kindergarten, and then Sisusuku summon a tentacle out of his back and then plunge himself. Basically, the tentacle just like grows insanely big and it plunges himself into the sludge. And then when the tentacle goes away, it just leaves a puddle of sludge on the floor. And then the sludge just goes away, or whatever, like the ink or something. I was gonna call it sludge. And then Izuku and then just teleports into the back of the alley. And just proceeds to run away. He basically just hides in that alleyway for a few months, making some friends with some cats. Or something like that. Like a street cat. And basically, if you go near Izuku, you're basically dead. He doesn't want anything to do with anyone. What's next? Okay, so skip 10 years after eating garbage. Well, technically he doesn't need to eat, but his body's basically just a sludge, but he likes to eat garbage because it anyways, like he doesn't really have a digestive system anymore, so it doesn't matter what he eats. He's basically just sludge. That whole, he doesn't have any bones anymore or anything like that, just sludge piled up into a human-like figure that grows taller the more he ages. Skip about 10 years of making friends with cats and eating garbage. He's now maybe 14. And Izuku's been training with this quirk, like summoning Gaster Blasters, using his tentacles in better ways. Also trying to get a grip on his teleportation abilities, because the first time he used it, he didn't know where he was going to end up. And he realizes that he can only really teleport where he knows, because he's been past that alleyway all the way to kindergarten multiple times. So he knows that place. So he was able to teleport there. And Izuku, basically there's posters of Izuku, and they say everywhere around town, and Izuku just doesn't even really want to go home. And that's when Kirogiri finds him. And, well, actually, okay, after 10 years, yeah, Kirogiri finds him and brings him back to the League of Villains. And Izuku just says, huh. So basically, you're just some stupid, crappy street villains, huh? Street bandits. And Shigaraki says, "What did you just say? You stupid piece of sludge." And then Izuku just creates 4 tentacles and stabs them through Shigaraki's chest, then stabs it through Kurogiri's chest, although it has no effect because he basically creates this portal that is right behind Izuku, making the tentacle go straight into Izuku, but doesn't matter, nothing happens. The tentacle goes right through him, and then he just summons a whole swarm of tentacles just to trash the area, swinging them around. And everyone in there is being blown away and slapped across the room. And then Izuku just runs out the bar, and then some villains. Shigaraki's dead. The other villains that didn't really take any damage chased after Izuku, while the others are being captured by his tentacles, but some were able to break free with their quirks. And then Izuku summons a Gaster Blaster behind them, basically disintegrating all the villains that were behind him, and then keeps running and just exits the building entirely and just jumps off the ledge, and then separates into, just turns into a sludge ball, and then lands on the ground. And also, there is a way for you to actually, you can't really kill him. Well, it's hard to kill him, but the real way you can stop him from regenerating is basically just making him take either fall damage or splitting him in halves. And then he'll have to slowly regenerate for about 5 minutes, and that's your chance to basically mow him down or just like kill him. But Zuko has learned how to counteract this weakness, and basically he's been practiced splitting himself in half and then making clones of himself and then fusing back together. Although he can't do it, it takes up a lot of stamina. He is able to do it. So yeah, you have to do it by force and not making himself do it himself. Well, not like after 3 times of doing it, he will have to regenerate for 5 minutes, but anyways, Zuko runs out of the building. Well, he jumps off the building and then tries to do a ball of sludge, and then it lands on the floor, regenerating, and then makes a giant tentacle above him, and plunges himself in. Well, the tentacle plunges into Zuko, and then it makes him teleport to on top of like an apartment block that was nearby. This leaving the League of Villains basically disbanded. Since Shigaraki is dead, All For One now has to sees incredible power in Izuku, and all he needs to do is get him on his side, and they'll basically be unstoppable. But just give me a sec. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that like the eye you see here on Nightmares, like one of his eyes is covered by the goop? Yes, same eye is covered by the goop. Yeah. So later, well, this was on live TV, and they saw him running away from the crime scene. Basically, Inko sees this news report and is so distressed. Is completely shocked by this news that her son is a villain now, or well, yeah, Izuku is going to be a villain in this AU. But what no one didn't know was there was a glitchy figure watching. There was someone there. There were multiple. There was someone, a glitched figure who had a giant cut in the middle of his chest, and a glitched eye. You could probably guess who it is. And he looked like Izuku, except without the goopy body. And of course, this is going to be an interconnected AU. Well, is connected to, basically, this is how a few series are going to be connected to each other in some way. And this one is one of the interconnected ones, and then he disappears into a bunch of like glitch particles, and people saw this little person on the news report and started making theories on who it could possibly be, like all over the internet, like a super glitchy guy caught on camera and that stuff. And this guy keeps appearing time and time again. You can see some photographers are actually kind of haunted, because in some of their photos they can see this glitchy guy in the background. It was kind of creepy. Of course, he's not going to be introduced in this. He's not going to be introduced in this episode, but he will be in next, I guess. Well, I'm assuming. Well, I'll just make up my mind. I'd only planned some of this, so I didn't really have much planned. Only the cork part and the glitchy guy part. And you probably know who it is. So, anyways, I think he was on top of an apartment block. Or just Nightmare. I'm just gonna call him Nightmare, Jesus. And basically, 2 months after that happens, Nightmare got away, and the glitchy guy just teleported away. And the League of Villains are basically disbanded now. Well, not really. All for One is still there. So 2 months pass after that, and then Deku or Nightmare is wandering through the dark alleyways of the city when he hears, "I am here," and of course, Izuku's villain name is Nightmare, so I'm just gonna refer to him as Nightmare from now on. And then he hears, then he sees All Might right behind him, rushing towards him, and then he says, "Huh, looks like Smiley Trash Bag's here," and just jumps out of the way of All Might, trying to smash him because of what he did, because of all the destruction he caused. And basically everyone thinks of him as a villain now because of what he did to the League of Villains and how powerful he is. And basically no one really wanted to take him on except for the top heroes. And then All Might tries to punch Izuku, but either just Izuku would just dodge it by just making the punches go right through his body, or just dodging them completely. And then Izuku just summons a tentacle that he would stab that he would try to stab through right through All Might, and then All Might just runs so fast that Nightmare didn't even know that All Might was behind him, and then he just smashes Izuku into the ground. Although what he didn't know is that he actually helped Izuku get out of the situation. As when he did that, he turned into a pile of sludge that eventually just evaporated into, that basically just got sucked into the ground where like the crater was. And then the Nightmare got away, and All Might is just All Might says to the police that he got away, and yeah. Now Izuku has to find somewhere to live, or else he'll just be constantly hunted down by heroes, as they know his favorite habitat is alleyways. So he's going to have to find some place to stay instead of just the alleyways. And he needs to make sure he's hidden from the rest of the public. Well, just give me a sec here. Izuku thought 2 steps ahead and decided that he could join UA, and just claimed that he was Nightmare's twin brother, and he's basically the opposite version of him. And so he applies for the UA entrance exam, this time using a fake name, fake ID, and stuff like that. So he just calls himself Azuka, or he just calls himself Azuka. And he decides that if he's going to be able to, well, yeah. So basically, he's going to be entering as the UA trader. So, yeah. What is there? Oh yeah, so when he applies for the USA entrance exam, he changed. Well, he changed his identity since he's the twin brother. People just since he's the twin brother, so of course he's gonna look like his other brother. Well, he doesn't have a brother, but just like fake one. Whatever. Azuku just heads to the auditorium is going to the auditorium when everyone is saying, "Oh my God, it's that villain!" and he's just assuring them that he's the twin brother and that he's basically the opposite of him. And basically, now this is making Nightmare even more annoyed, but he knows he can't kill anybody, or else his cover is just going to be blown off. So basically, he's literally filled with rage, but he can't do anything really. And sometimes he regrets even applying to the UA entrance exam. But he goes to the auditorium. He does pretty well. Well, he doesn't do that great on the he does all right on the written test because he had to be abandoned since kindergarten, so he doesn't know that much. Doesn't know as much as the average teenager would, but over the time with living with cats, he kind of matured and developed. He's now more used to planning stuff instead of rushing ahead and basically trying to kill everybody, or else I'll probably get him killed as well. But he did it to the League of Villains because, well, he knew he could take them on, and he knew they weren't that strong. And anyways, he knew Shigaraki was only able to kill him if he was able to touch him. So all he had to really do was to just kill Shigaraki as quick as possible. And he was the only real threat that the League posed. And then he just took care of the other villains easily. So, Azuka does alright on the written exam. Not for the actual exam. He just, when they go, he basically just, jumps on a gaster blaster and then flies all across the city, stabbing tentacles. Well, he just makes, 10 tentacles that search around the city, stabbing into robots. And Bakugo sees Izuku and says, wait a second. He just says it in his mind. Wait, is that actually Izuku? I thought he was a villain. So yeah, he just jumps on the gaster blaster, extending all 10 tentacles, just searching around the city, stabbing into robots' heads, and then destroying them. And then he sees the big 0-pointer, which he just summons 6 gaster blasters around its head, decimating it, and then just sees Ochako and doesn't really care. But he helps her anyways, just to get a better reputation, or else, yeah. He doesn't want his cover to be blown. So just helps Ochako get the boulders off of her, and just says, just get out of here quickly before I crush you with this boulder again. And Ochako's like, all right, and then runs off. Okay, so what else do I need to do? Where did we leave off? Okay, so Azuku rushes. Azuku and Chaco just rushes over to the finish. President Mike says it's over, and why did I do that in my own mind voice? But anyways, President Mike says it's over, and everyone just goes home. Well, Azuka just goes back to the alleyway, or should I say Azuka? I'm just gonna call him Azuku for what he's doing his villain work. And I'll just call him Azuka when he's doing his hero work, or like faking to be a hero. I guess you kind of say he's an anti-hero or anti-villain. If that's even a thing. Okay, so they go to their the next day. Azuka goes to the UA campus, and he goes inside for the first day of the quirk testing. Everyone, when he walks in, everyone's just looking at him, and Azuka just says, "What?" And everyone just says, "Really? How did you get in? Aren't you supposed to be a villain?" And then Azuka says, "No, that's my twin brother. That's my twin brother. I'm basically the opposite version of him." It's hard to tell the difference. And everyone's like, "Okay." Of course, Azuku or Azuka just wears the UA uniform as well. He doesn't have a complete like black clothes like Nightmare has in this picture. He still has the normal colored clothes. Then he just sits down, and then Aizawa walks in, saying that pulls out a sports uniform from he takes out a gym uniform from a sleeping bag. He says, "Just put on one of these and meet outside." And everyone does do that. Everyone's still looking at him though. Even Aizawa is a bit confused as to what's going on here. Niski, all the staff that saw Azuka are just completely confused as to, wasn't he a villain? But why is he applying for the UA entrance exam? And Azuka's trying to build up everyone's trust by being nice. Although the first time he tried to help someone, he wasn't really acting nice, but he's trying to come around to being nice towards the UA students. And when he's doing his villain work, just being ruthless and stuff like that. So he's trying to gain everybody's trust, and when he does, he'll just betray them. So he can deal with some of the top heroes at UA. He can deal with some of the top heroes from... And then... yeah. What is it? What was it? Sorry. Okay, so Izuku goes. Why do I keep forgetting this? Since Izuku got the highest score in the entrance exam from getting a couple of hero points and a bunch of villain points, Izuku is handed a ball, and Izuku just Izuku makes also, I think, Nightmare has all the normal Sans abilities. Well, I'm not sure if he uses bones, but then he just throws the ball up into the air. He uses telekinesis on the ball. Of course, he doesn't only use it on people. He can. Or should I just do the negative feeling parts? Yeah, I think I'll do the negative feeling parts because, he's a. I don't want to make the quirk too complicated. Just make it stuck to the negative feelings and gastrolasters, that stuff. So he won't be using the normal Sans attacks. So instead, he would throw the ball into the air, make his tentacles just jut through it, and then the ball would just appear somewhere far away, like maybe in a different country, and then. Basically, he turns the tentacles into a portal, making the ball go to a different country or something. Or just makes it go to a random location. And Aizawa says, 2,384 meters. Not bad. And everyone's completely shocked about what just happened. Does he have like some sort of portal quirk? And then Izuku just goes back to where everyone's standing. Then the rest of the tests are mostly the same, except for the 60-meter dash. He would jump on a gas master that flipped backwards, and then he would fire it, making the jet making it like a propelling him towards the finish line, getting maybe like first place or something in the 60-meter dash. Most of the tests are the same because I forget most of them. And he gets maybe third place or something like that, like fifth. And Manetta gets last because I don't like Manetta. He should get expelled. And Manetta does get expelled. And he's basically begging for Aizawa to reconsider, but Aizawa's already made his choice. And so they go back inside. Well, after that stuff, they go back outside. Whatever. The second day of UA. Jesus, that rhymed, but okay. So. But before he goes to school, he is just sitting in the alleyway when he hears a faint, huh. When he hears someone saying, huh. So you're another alternate version of it. So you're another alternate version, huh? You're pretty. Out of these other trashy AUs, you're pretty unique. And Izuku just says, "Who's there?" And he sees. Let me just say who it is. Let me show you a picture. When he looks behind him, he sees. So when he looks behind him, he sees an alternate version of himself. And it is, Geno Deku. And, he says... Are you going to help me restore balance to this universe, to this multiverse? All these garbage timelines created just for the purpose of entertainment. We all suffer just before entertainment. Come on, join me. And that's where I'm going to leave this video off today. So,
Okay, let's go. Come on.
just give me a sec. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.